Hi, fifth graders. Today we're going to start lesson 14-1, and it's about the coordinate system. So we are going to be learning about coordinate grids. And I'm going to kind of talk you through this video as we learn all of the vocabulary that we need to learn. Okay, so it says, a map shows the locations of landmarks and has guides for finding them. In a similar way, a coordinate grid is used to graph and name the locations of points on a plane. So we're going to use graphs like this to plot points and to name points. Okay. Okay, so we're going to learn this, how we can use the grid on the map to describe the location of a place. Okay, you can use the numbers at the bottom and on the left side to name the location of a place you want to describe. So most of the time it's going to look like this, okay? The graphs that we're working with. So we have an x-axis, and that goes along the bottom. That is the horizontal, the x-axis. Also have a y-axis that goes up and down, okay? They intersect at a point called the origin. So where they meet in the corner is called the origin, and that is always 0. So we can use ordered pairs to locate points on a coordinate grid. A point on the grid is named using an ordered pair of numbers. So right now on there they have point A. Okay, and we're going to use the numbers on the x-axis and the y-axis to describe this point. Okay, so first what we're going to do is we're going to see along the x-axis, which is along the bottom, we're going to see how many we go over. Sorry, I forgot. We go over 1 time. So in the first spot, we're going to put a 1. Then we have to see how many we're going up. That is the y coordinate. Okay, we go up 3, so then a 3 will go into the position. So it always has the parentheses around it when we're talking about an ordered pair. Okay, so you will always need to put the parentheses. Even when you're writing it down or doing a practice buddy, you will need parentheses. Okay. A comma separates the x coordinate from the y coordinate. The numbers are always named in the same order, the x coordinate first and the y coordinate second. Always that order. Okay, some other little trick that I like to talk about is to remember that you always do x first and then y. You can think about the alphabet. When we do the alphabet, X, Y, Z. So X comes before Y. Same with this, you do the X axis before you do the Y axis. Okay, so let's try some of these problems. And then I've got to zoom in a little. All right, we're going to start with 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then we're going to come back to 1 and 2. Okay, so I need to make sure I have my pen. Okay, so it says, in 4 and 5, write the ordered pair for each point. Use the grid. So I know I'm going to need my parentheses and a comma in the middle. So I'm looking for point B. So here's point B. All right. Now I have to use the x-axis first. That is how much I'm going over. Sorry for my squiggly line. How much I'm going over. So I'm going over 3 to get to B. So my x point is going to be 3. Okay? Then I'm going up, and I'm going up 1, 2. So my y coordinate is 2. Okay? So I go over 3 and then up 2 to get to B. All right? Next up I have A. Well, I see A. I know it's kind of hard to see. Sorry about that. Let's erase. Erase, erase, erase. I can see A is right there in the corner. Okay? And oops. A is right there in the corner. So I'm again going to have my parentheses and the comma in the middle. So A, I don't have to go over anywhere. It's just right there. So I'm going to put a 0 because I don't have to go over at all. And then look, I also don't have to go up at all. I stay in the same place, which again is 0. Now the point 0, 0 is called the origin. All right, I would write that down if I were you. Origin. Okay, is the origin. All right, now we're going to look down here and we're going to name the points. So 6 and 7 says, name the point for each ordered pair on the grid above. Okay, so I'm going to go 5, 3. So that means I need to go over 5 because the 5 is on my x-axis. Okay, you can see the x right there to remind you. Okay, so I'm going to go over until I get to 5, and then I'm going to stop. And then I'm going to go up 3, which is my y-axis. You can see that up here to remind you. So I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3. And when I get there, I land on point D. So 5, 3 is point D. Okay, 7, 1, 4. So 1 is my x-axis. I always go over first. 4 is my y-axis. I go up. So I'm going to go over 1, and I'm going to stop when I get there, and then I'm going to go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. When I get there, I land at point C. So the answer to number 7 is C. Okay, let's go back. It says you are graphing point E at 0, 5. Do you move to the right 0 units or up 0 units? Explain. Okay, so I'm going to go back over and I'm going to erase some of this so we can see this. Okay, so it says I'm graphing at 0, 5. So if I go over 0, that means I stay right here at 0. I don't have to move over at all because I am staying at point 0. Then I am moving up 5. So there is my point right there. That would be point E that they're talking about. Okay? 0, 5 means I go over 0 and I just go up 5. So it says, do you move to the right 0 units or up 0 units? Well, we definitely moved up, which means right. The answer would be right 0 units because we did not move to the right at all. Okay, we just moved up. All right, what ordered pair names the origin of any coordinate grid? Well, we just did that over there for number 5, so that one's pretty easy. It is 0, 0. The origin is always at 0, 0. All right, then number 3, describe how to graph point K at 5, 4. All right, if I'm graphing point K, I'm going to go over to 5, and then I'm going to go up 4. Right there is point K. Okay, so I would move to the right 5, and then I would move up 4. This is the x-axis, right 5, and this is the y-axis, up 4. Okay, we're going to do one more problem that will help on the practice buddy. So hopefully it loads. All right, here we go. It says, in 20 to 24, complete the table. List the point and ordered pair for each vertex of the pentagon. So, oh, I need my pen. Okay, so the important word here is vertex. Okay, now vertex is going to be each corner of the pentagon. Right here in the picture, we have a pentagon. A pentagon is a side with 5 shapes. Okay, now the vertex, I'm going to try to put little dots there, is each corner. Okay, that's what it means by vertex. So F, H, J, B, and D do not count because they're in the middle of the line. The line doesn't change direction there. The vertex is where each corner is, okay? So I'm going to go back over and I'm going to make my pen thinner. Okay, so our first point, let's start with point A. Our first point is point A. And I think, okay, I'm going to go to get to point A. I'm going to go over 3, and then I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my ordered pair is 3, 5. All right. Next up, I'll go over to point C. And to get to point C, I go over 1, x-axis, and then up 1, 2, 3. So that would be 1, 3. Next up, I'll do point E. And I know it's going to get a little messy, but I know you guys can tell. So to get point E, I'm going to go over 1 and then up 1. So my point is 1, 1. All right, next I'm going to do right here, point G. So to get point G, I'm all going to go over 5 and then up 1. So my coordinate point is 5, 1, or my ordered pair. And then finally, I have point I. So to get to point I go over 5 and up 3. Over 5, up 1, 2, 3. So my point is 5, 3, my ordered pair. Okay? So the most important thing for you guys to remember is that you always have to go x-axis first, that's over. Then you have to do y-axis second, and that's up. So remember, x comes before y in the alphabet, so you have to do x before y when you're finding ordered pairs. Just a reminder that these are the ordered pairs, and they always have to have parentheses, and they always have to have a comma between the two numbers. Okay,